Hey everybody, how's it going? It's me, Logan Joyce here, aka Suburban Yinzer. Continuing on my president series that I first talked about, the American Revolution presidents, we're going to be talking about 8 new presidents today. 2, 4, 6, 8. These presidents, in my opinion, helped instigate or helped lead up to the Civil War. Right now I'm wearing my beloved Gettysburg t-shirt that I got at Gettysburg in October. I love that place. Probably one of my top favorite places in the United States. But when it comes to these presidents, I'm going to make a little disclaimer. I don't know everything about these presidents. I know a lot more about the Founding Fathers and about the American Revolution presidents versus these presidents. But I know a couple things about each one. So in this video, don't crucify me. Don't say, well, Logan, you don't know anything about this guy. Well, of course not. These guys, to me, are a little bit, I don't know, not my taste, I would say. They're not my speciality when it comes to American history. So, but it's American history, so it needs to be acknowledged, and it needs to be talked about. So, before I go further, let's talk about the 2 political parties in the land at the time during the 1800s that led up to the Civil War. We got now the Democrat Party and the Whig Party. In my opinion, by my analysis over the years, the Democrat Party was created from the Jeffersonian, let's just say, Democratic Republican Party. That is small federal government, big states, meaning the states have more power, the federal government has less power. I love that. But when it comes to the Whigs, they were created, in my opinion, from the ashes of the Federalist Party, who then revamped into the Whig Party. The Whig Party was all about, in my opinion, big government, little states. This would then fuse into the slavery issue and into the states issue going into the Western territories, which would then be a huge precursor and causation of the Civil War. Not meaning that slavery was the end-all, say-all of the Civil War, but the politics, the economics, and let's just say the temperature of the Union at the time would cause the Civil War. Slavery was only a branch of the tree. So if you have the causation of the Civil War, you have a tree. So you have the trunk, which is the Union. But then you have slavery, economics, politics, and, constitutional stuff. That is the tree. So each branch is a causation. Okay? Not just slavery. Slavery is a branch. It's a big part, but it's not the only sole part of the Civil War. Okay, let's get into it. So, first, we're going to be talking about Martin Van Buren right here, the 8th President of the United States. Martin Van Buren was born December 5th, 1782 in Kinderhook, New York. He was a Yankee. He was a Northern president. But he was a Democrat. He died July 24th, 1862 in Kinderhook, New York. And I believe, based on my studies, he was the vice president, or the second vice president of Andrew Jackson when John C. Calhoun basically said, I quit, and went back to South Carolina during the nullification crisis because he was so mad about what Andrew Jackson was doing as the President of the United States, trying to, let's just say, bring South Carolina by force back into the Union. So Martin Van Buren, what do I think about him? He's all right. I mean, I'm a Democrat at heart. I am a 1800s old school Democrat. Okay, everybody thinks that I'm this. But you could be different things based on history. Like, just because you're a party now doesn't mean you're a party back then. Here's what I mean. I support the Democrat Party of the 18 and 1900s. Like, let's just say the mid to early 1900s. I'm that Democrat Party. So, this guy, in my opinion, is okay. Okay. But where does okay come from? Old Kinderhook. That was his nickname. during that time, the phrase okay came from and was based around Martin Van Buren. So, and based on my analysis or my theories about it, if you would say, oh, is he okay? Is he okay? That means you support Martin Van Buren. But during the end of Martin Van Buren's presidency, he was kind of looked down upon based on the panic of 1837, I think it was, during that economic crisis. So, as the President of the United States, he would get blamed for the economic hardships, and that would cause a shift, a political shift that we see today in the parties. Oh, the Democrats aren't doing good. Okay, let's vote for the Whigs now. They might help us. So, anyway, next president we got is William Henry Harrison, number 9. He was born February 9th, 1773 in Charles City, colony of Virginia. He was born before the American Revolution, but back to Van Buren, he was born during the time we were getting ready to become an independent country from Great Britain. William Henry Harrison died April 4th, 1841 in D.C. He died as president. He was only president for 1 month. He caught pneumonia because he talked during Inauguration Day for literally 2-3 hours out in the freezing cold, caught pneumonia, and then died. So, he was a Whig. Okay, he was a Whig, which is basically like the Federalist Party. So, he was a Federalist. So, he really didn't have that much time to really set his policies in stone and create a legacy for himself because he died 1 month into the presidency. So, I don't know too much about him as president. So, who's next? Well, the Vice President of the United States, John Tyler. Harrison's vice president became president. So, what happens there? Well, that creates a whole crisis. The 10th President of the United States, John Tyler, was born March 29, 1790 in Greenway, Virginia, and died during the Civil War January 18th, 1862 in Richmond, Virginia, the Confederate capital, because he was serving as a Confederate congressman in the Confederate government. John Tyler, like many of the, let's just say, Southern politicians, just because you were a Whig or just because you were a Democrat didn't also mean that you were going to go solely with the party lines. Since he was from Virginia, since he was from my ancestor's state, he identified more as like a Southerner. Okay, just because he was a Whig and just because he might have flirted with the Whig Party or the Democrat Party doesn't mean he's going to go solely with those policies. But this caused a huge crisis when he became vice president. Because everybody was like, wait, how's he becoming vice president? He wasn't even elected by the people. Well, wait, hold on. What's the point of the vice president? If the president dies, then what's the vice president do? Just go home? No, he becomes the president. Well, that caused a whole constitutional crisis, but then it was set into stone based on John Tyler. So then the precedent was set that the vice president would then take the president's place based on death. So next, we got a controversial, very, very controversial president here who caused a lot of crap during the time. That's James Knox Polk, Democrat Party. Okay? I like Polk. He was born November 2nd, 1795 in Pineville, North Carolina, and died June 15th, 1849 in Nashville, Tennessee. James Knox Polk was president during the Mexican-American War. And mind you, in my opinion, he did start the Mexican-American War. Okay? The Democrat Party was all about Western expansion. Let's go spread to the West. Go West. And the Whigs were more like, nah, let's just contain the Union here. We don't want to go west. But really what that was about was expanding slavery into the Western territories. But why would you want to expand slavery into the Western territories? Mind you, side note, footnote, I do not support slavery. Just because I support the Democrat Party of the 1800s doesn't mean I support slavery. So anybody that slanders me as a human in 2025, as an American, I do not support slavery. That's ridiculous. But me analyzing the history and me supporting the history, that's a whole different topic. We as Americans need to stop labeling ourselves as this, and start being historians and talking about the elephant in the room. Stop ignoring it and stop trying to demonize it, and let's start talking about it. Let's have a discussion about the history. That's all we're trying to do. That's all I'm trying to do. Let's get back to the point here. James Knox Polk wanted to instigate a war with Mexico. He had a lot of Southern affiliations going on down in the South. The slave owners, the agrarian, let's just say, nobility of the South was pushing him to get Mexico out of the way. Get Mexico out of the way, dude. We want the slave states. We want the power. We want the economic power of the Union. Screw the North. Screw them. Screw those Yankees. We don't want them having the power with their industry anymore. That's all the war was about. That's what the Mexican-American War was about. Basically expanding the American empire into the West. Basically becoming an empire. The Union then growing into this big geographical region where we can control not just this little part of the continent, we can control the rest of it. So James Knox Polk instigates that war. We win the Mexican-American War, beat Mexico, and we basically take everything west of the Mississippi. Almost everything. We take, let's just say, like Arizona, New Mexico, California, all that crap. We take all of it. So now the slaveocracy, the agrarian society of the slaves, they're like, yee, we won the war. We can extend slavery into the West. But did that stop the Whigs? No. The Whigs were gonna freak out. They were like, whoa. We don't want slavery into the West. Why? Well, I'll go into that a little bit further. So let's talk about why they didn't want to bring slavery into the West. The Whig Party didn't want that going in there. In the next video, stay tuned.